Springboks, of course, will be taking on England in Japan in the Rugby World Cup final tomorrow, Saturday. My colleague, eNCA reporter Ronald Masinda, is this morning at Zwide township in Port Elizabeth, Epai. It's Springbok captain Kolisi's hometown. That's where he grew up. Let's cross now live to Ronald as he's up and about Zwide. Ronald, a very good morning to you. Well, you are, of course, in the neighborhood where the captain grew up. I wonder what the mood is like.
Well, good morning to you, Pradhan, from eNCA Primary School, where it all started for Kolisi. Earlier on, we were at Grey High School, where he was groomed to be a Springbok. But safe to say that this is where it all started, on the dusty streets of Zwide. And to tell us more a bit about the life of Kolisi growing up at the school is his former headmaster, Mr. Mkuseli Eric Songwekwe. Thank you so much for your time, sir. First of all, you've seen Kolisi grow as a young man. Just tell us a bit about those early days.
Yeah, Sia grew up in Zwide township. He grew up amongst the other boys. So Usia was a very tiny little boy. The time I met Usia, I used to gather boys around from this area, training them in rugby. Now, in the past, the primary schools were structured in such a way that you couldn't get rugby coaches, So you would only get female educators. So Usia was part of that group. So I assembled a group of about 75 kids, but I had to divide them. Certain things that I've noticed, during our training session, discipline played a major role, Another thing, Usia was passionate about what he was doing, a motivator amongst the other boys. There are times when you are going to have a conduct session, I could notice that the boy is robust, because in a conduct session, it's conduct against your teammate, the opponent, and the ground, Usia could withstand in those situations, So Usia was a good organizer, dealing with 75 kids, you are alone as a coach. Now there are times when I had to bring the equipment to the field. Usia could assist me taking the equipment to the field. Now kids do not grasp at the same level, Now when I inculcated skills, he could catch up earlier. Then he assisted me to assist those who couldn't grasp it so quick, Now, another thing that I've noticed, looking at the attributes that he possesses, I've noticed the humbleness, Now, and the part of generosity, started at an early stages, A young boy with impeccable manners, Usia was a strong warrior that commands respect as a young boy.
Now, in closing, what can other learners learn from Kolisi, a man from very humble beginnings?
Discipline. Discipline plays a vital role, So, and he didn't even involve himself in such things, taking other kids' possessions, and doing drugs, So those were the things that he didn't do them, and to focus to what you are doing, passionate, Then he could show enthusiasm at all times to what he was doing, So even other learners, even the boys that they played together, they grew up together, they are still with him even today, Now they've learned something. Even the way they are talking even these days, they said, at least from Sia we benefited this and that, But the major one is discipline,
All right, Bratan, there you have it. Really, Kolisi's story, one of discipline and, of course, success over trying times here in Zwide township. And, of course, we will be crossing over still a year later to get more thoughts from the people here in eNCA and also hopefully get a song or two from the school kids here at the school.